Oh, the overlay is done already. It's fucked. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing really well. This is obviously the premiere episode of the We've Got Fabinho show, and I thought I had everything all set up, but as you can see, the chat has just gone ski-whiff. I don't know how I've managed to do that already. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. It looks like we've got a few people in here already. So we've got Tiger, Beans, Vern. Thank you all very much for joining us on this very first episode. So for those of you that aren't watching it live on Twitch, what I'm actually doing is obviously streaming it on there with the overlays, and I'm going to record it locally so that I can rip it off the internet and then put it onto SoundCloud, onto YouTube and whatever else I do so desire at the time of me actually doing it. So as I'm doing this on the fly, the rest of the people can see that the text is just going a bit more ski-whiff to get inside the box. Sep, thank you very much for joining as well, my good man. So I suppose I better introduce the first guest then, Anna. Is a person who, without blowing too much smoke up his ass, I'm sure you can hear him rustling in the background. If you didn't know already, we've actually got the Midnight Kid here from Pez Universe, the main Ed. He's going to be joining me today in the first episode. I couldn't think of anybody else. No one was around at the time, really, so I've had to wait to come back.
Nobody else said yes to you, in other words.
Exactly. So obviously, I'm relying on people in the cloud, in the chat, to help me out with the sound. If it sounds all right, I don't know if I'm coming through too loud. I don't know if he's coming through too quiet. So if you could all help us out with that as we go along. Obviously, it is the debut episode. Greavesy, thank you very much for joining as well, mate. We're all coming in here tonight. So yeah, we've got quite a few things. Yeah, Sep's just telling you to stop white benching. I don't know if you've got the chat up as well so you could see it.
I'm getting it up here now, 1 sec.
So, yeah, if you could all help us out with Audio Perfecto. Nice one, Sep. Thank you very much for that. So, yeah, this is pretty much how it's going to be. I'm going to try and get... I mean, the chances are the Midnight Kid's going to be with me most of the time. Because he's the only person that likes me. So... I've got a list of stuff that I want to run through today, and obviously the first thing is, hopefully now if I move this onto the next overlay, it's going to show something that's not rude or anything over the fish. What's going on, mate?
Could be anything on your fucking thing.
Dick on my screen or something, I don't know. I'm just going to flick over to the next one, and it's fine. So the first thing that we're obviously going to run off is the Pez Universe Pros actually getting to go to Barcelona. I think it's this week, innit? Is it Saturday?
Yeah, this weekend, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's so again, I've done it again. The box is gone a bit ski-whiff, but yeah, as you can see, I've got on my screen the tweet that we put out. I tried to find Wes's tweet to say that there was going, but all I seen was I've found my passport, or I'm going to get my passport. So I can't actually do anything. I couldn't find.
Is that the only message you found off Weza?
The one that was on his thing. Oh, that's the chat box. I'm doing it. I've fucked this up big time. I thought I'm actually in it now. Everything sorted, and I'm just trying to do all this on the fly. People are just going to
yeah, you can see that the chat box is a bit fucked, isn't it?
Well, I had everything sorted until actually people started typing. So obviously I didn't type enough for the box outline. There we go. So yeah, that's the first thing that I wanted to bring up. Obviously the lads making it over to Barcelona in the first place, which is obviously world class. They've done well to get there. Considering what's been going around at the moment. So yeah, fair play to them actually getting there, and I hope they end up bringing some prize money home, because I'm saving for a wedding and a mortgage. But obviously I'm taking a little small slice of that commission at some point.
Obviously, for putting them on the map.
Exactly. So, shall we get into the first? In fact, I tell you what, let's go rogue. What is it that obviously you've been away now for how long was it? 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks. I was home yesterday, so being a bit quieter than normal, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just fucking beasting it up. It's like 30 degrees over there, so back to the rain today, you know. But yeah, I don't know what you want to start with. Like, I was literally just playing the Switch for the last 5 weeks. That's all.
You know what, mate? Because that's all I've been doing. Because when you're not here, I'm kind of playing on my own on stuff, which obviously isn't great.
So cute.
So if you what is it that you've been playing?
Been playing a lot of NBA 2K and a lot of Skyrim and Mario Odyssey. Odyssey probably the most. I've that now. I think I'm like 2 or 3 hours away from finishing that. So yeah, it's class. Like, I don't think it's the best Mario that I've played. Like, I think Sunshine is still probably the best on GameCube, but yeah, I loved it. I love it. Like, it's just classic Nintendo. You know what I mean? It's just you literally just play it for hours and you don't get bored or pissed off. Do you know that kind of way? So it's just brilliant.
Yeah, right. Because I know you said you played Skyrim as well.
I was playing a lot of that.
Is that the remastered version?
Yeah, it's basically like all the DLC, everything. It's like kind of Game of the Year edition, basically, on the Switch.
Right, okay.
But it's like updated, obviously, for the Switch, and they've got like it's pretty much like you wouldn't even notice like slowdown or anything in it. Like, it just runs really smooth. So
when you took your Switch over there, did you take your dock with you, or did you just...
I just had literally had like a power bank to charge it, and fucking just a handheld, like. So it was grand. Like, I was getting about 4 hours, I'd say, just about 4 hours out of Mario, and about 3 for Skyrim, obviously, because it's more, technically challenging, I suppose, on the console. But yeah, it's definitely, like, even for that trip alone, like, it's been worth the money that I paid for the Switch. Just to have something at night time just to fucking unwind with, like, because you'd miss your games and stuff when you're gone away, like,
Right, okay. No, that's perfect. Obviously, like I said, because you've been away and I've not been able to play on GTA or anything, or play much PES. I've been playing a lot of in fact, that's a lie, because I played a lot of My Club recently. I've streamed a lot as well on that over the last 4 weeks or whatever it is, but I don't know if you've seen what I've been slapping on Twitter constantly. I've just been playing Golf Story. Like, I've been taking my Switch into work to play on it on my breaks, on my dinners and stuff like that. I just can't get enough of it. Literally, I don't know if you've... In fact, I've got somewhere on here, if I can find it. I did put a link down below so everybody else will be able to see it, so I can get off that tweet. But basically what it is, it looks like Pokemon. It's a nice little 8-bit game. I've got a trailer here as well, but the game, it's a side-by-side to announce golf story for Nintendo Switch. Play the story of a golfer forced to give up all his holes day for one final shot at accomplishing his dream. So it's set out like an 8-bit style, and I'm fairly certain you'll be able to hear the volume on this. So I'll just run through the trailer. In fact, I've got an even better screen for this. Whip that up. Trailers, bosh.
Oh, it's real classic, old school.
It's everything you dream an 8-bit game to be.
Oh, look at this shit.
Look at that.
That looks class, man. What the fuck? Frisbee and everything. Oh, class.
So, like, based off this, I literally bought the game off this trailer. Just based
off the trailer,
yeah. So this trailer actually worked, and it's been on sale. It was on sale. I think the sale ended on Friday, but it's even at its full price of 13 quid, 100% worth every penny. Like, ended up picking this up for 10 quid, I think it was. It might have been 10.79. Like, I'll get rid of the trailer now because it just drags on and on and on and on.
Jeez, it looks like about 10 games rolled into one.
Yeah, it's
so much shit going on here.
Yeah, it's honest to God, it's brilliant. Like, I think I looked at on their website how long to beat or whatever it is, or something like that, and I think it's 17 hours, and I think I'm about 13 into it now, and I don't think I'm anywhere close. Oh, Greavesy, I finally broke 100 bibs. We need to go for a game soon. You finally broke 100. Broke 100 what, Greavesy? Needs to be a bit more descriptive. But yeah, that literally, like, this is all I've been playing. At any point that I've been able to play this game, I've just been picking it up and playing it. And also, as well, this is like the cheapest thing ever, but because I play in the front room a lot with, obviously the missus will be watching TV or something like that, but I keep on docking it. Yeah. She wants to play Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like, I don't know if anybody has seen this game or anything, but basically it's like what is it, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
So he's got these like different sided little Puyo Puyo things, these circles, and it's like Tetris, you've got to try and get them into a group of 4 and then they'll finally break. But there's like a game mode called Swap, so it's like every 25 seconds it'll swap between Tetris and Puyo Puyo constantly every 25 seconds. So you could be like having an absolute shite game on Tetris, but then it'll flick over to Puyo Puyo, and then she'll be having a shite game on that. So it's literally just back and forward constantly.
Yeah,
it's class. Like, it's so good. And I realised why my counter for the attendance is broke.
Jeez, you're such a fucking amateur. I thought I was coming on a professional podcaster.
No, it doesn't
Fuck's
exist.
sake.
It does not exist. It's because I've got more than 10 people, which I didn't anticipate in here. So it's just...
Whole thing's going haywire.
Yeah, so it's just broke my counter, but I don't know where... Anyway, we'll forget about that. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's literally like all I've been playing.
Do you dock the Switch all the time, or are you playing most of it in your handheld?
A lot of it is handheld, to be honest with you, because I'm scared.
Yeah.
I like playing it on the big screen. However, I need to get a proper controller.
Yeah, the controller is hard to play with unless you have the Pro Switch one, I think, isn't it? The Pro one.
Like, I've got massive hands. Like, I've not got children fingers. Without sounding too crude or out. I haven't got children's hands, so I need a bigger pad or a pad, like the PlayStation pad. I mean, if I was going to pick a pad, I'd rather have the original Xbox Duke pad.
Like, yeah.
It's
the PS4 pad is quite small though. Anyway, like for anybody, like it's actually very small. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, they're actually bringing out the Duke controller for the PlayStation 1. Like, I think Mad Cats are making one again. I think Mad Cats are just going back out of nowhere again. So that'll be awesome if they could do it. I ain't got an Xbox One, but like, not a child's pad, is it? The Big Daddy pad.
Yeah, the new Xbox One, like the pad for that is actually quite nice. It's just a small bit bigger than a small bit smaller than the 360 one.
Really, it looks like bigger than the 360 one.
No, it's not. Like, it's not. It actually feels a little like it's slimmer, like that kind of way. It's like smaller, but it's like lengthwise and stuff. It's probably a small bit bigger, yeah. But like it actually feels really nice in the hand. Do you know what I mean? So it just kind of curves.
It took me so long to get used to the PlayStation 4 controller, though.
Yeah,
because of the way the analog sticks out at the bottom.
Do you find PES hard to play on the PS4, like from being Xbox all the time? With the run, like with the shooting.
No, not PES, FIFA, right? Because on FIFA, I'll move on to the next part as well. Because I'll say, well, you've been away. I've been playing with my other set of mates, and all they do is play pro clubs, and it's the only reason I buy FIFA is for pro clubs. And because I always play left wing, I like to cut inside. So obviously, if you've got the skill moves to be able to do it, you can cut inside. And it took me forever to get used to mauling that right analog stick to be able to do like a McGeady spin or just a flip flap or whatever it is that they do. I don't even know the name for skills these days. I just do them on the game, not in real life. Jesus, I'd fall over.
Yeah, just do them in the game.
Yeah, it took me ages to get used to it on that because obviously the left analog stick was at the top of the pad, wasn't it, on the Xbox.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the ass on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I found it for a while now with PES, like, it's just different, because the Xbox controller is just, I don't know, I still think it's the best, like, the best one. The 360 controller is the best ever. I know some people fucking say the PS4 pad's the best, but no, I don't think so.
It's all that, well, a lot of people who've probably stayed loyal to the PlayStation, that's all they know from, like, DualShock 1. Oh, the pad's not changed, has it? All it's done is put a trackpad at the top. That's the only thing that's changed out of them. Whereas the Xbox One has obviously it's gone funky shapes and added more buttons or took away less buttons or whatever.
Yeah, true that.
Right, so what I'm going to do is I've got the first news story that I've got 4. In fact, there was 3, and there's a kind of 4, like it's just an additional one. It's an FYI, I'll put it. So the first one that I found, which came out last week on Tuesday. The only person I've actually spoke to about this, and the only person that give a shit, was the missus. Seth just put something. I think the PS4 pad is great for sports games, and Xbox pad for SPS's games. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like everyone thinks that playing an FPS on a PC is like the only way to game, but I can't do it, me. Like I've tried so many times playing like COD or the latest one. Ended up playing Fortnite on my PC because I know a few people that have got it. Tried playing it on that, can't do it. Just end up spinning around in circles. Like the sensitivity on it, I can't zoom and fire at the same time. I don't know if it's because I've not got a proper gaming mouse or anything, but the sensitivity on it, like I can press a button 3 times on this and change how fast and sensitive it is. but it doesn't make a difference. I just end up spinning around in a circle. Xbox One pad is shit for Pro Evo. The bumper buttons are shit. 360 had the better bumpers. Again, that's a great shot. I don't feel like
I agree. Yeah,
they're not as tactile.
I definitely agree with that.
They're not as tactile on them.
No, they're not. Like the Xbox One pad is like, I don't know. I think it feels lovely in the hand, but like, it's not as good as the 360 pad. Like, I just thought the 360 pad was the best pad ever. That's just my opinion. Anyway. But then I played most of my gaming like on the 360. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, if there's any time that I want to run an emulator or anything like that, the first pad that I pick up is my wired Xbox One.
Yeah.
Beans is saying, I like first-person shooters on consoles, but nothing matches the keyboard and mouse for me. Again, I think that's all down to personal preference. Like, I haven't played enough to be able to warrant it. I'm playing Layers of Fear at the moment on my PC because Humble Bundle was giving it away for free. Again, it's fucking terrifying. Like, seriously, it's so atmospheric. Like, it's not even... I haven't come up against anything yet, but it's all like... It's like psychological horror.
Yeah. Just waiting for the scare.
That's it. But then you think when the scare's coming, it's not there. It doesn't happen. But then something else will catch you 2 seconds later. Nando's is saying get the Mega Drive controller with the X, Y, and Z buttons. What the only thing? They didn't even have bumpers. No. I agree that the Xbox 360 pad was amazing. Stream Resident Evil 7 for us. I've already done that. That's been and gone. I'll definitely have to do it again though. I mean, I've bought something for, and in fact, this is a fucking great time to mention this. It's just a beautiful segue going into it. I've ended up buying this like PS2 to HDMI connector that you plug into the back of your PlayStation 2. So obviously you can run your HDMI because there's no other way of capturing the footage otherwise. So I can't stream from a PS2. So I've ended up buying one of them. It was like £8 or something.
Nice.
And I've got all I had a look under my bed last night at what games I've got from my PS2. So I've pretty much got all the old Resident Evils for the PS1, most of them for the PS2. I had Tony Hawk's Underground somewhere and I have no idea where it is. Like, it's probably been propped up underneath this TV here next to me.
Bookmark.
Yeah, so it's probably underneath there. So I have got it in the house somewhere, so I'll definitely have to give that a blast. Sep's putting a link in for a must-have pad for those who don't like PS4 and play on the PS4. I'm guessing. In fact, I'm going to take that link.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
I've seen that before, kind of. Yeah.
I've got this on here. Right, it's a YouTube vid, so I'm going to give this a quick blast.
This could be fucking anything now.
It could be.
Could be trolling you.
It's set with his dick between his legs. I tell you what, that's pretty special. That.
Yeah, I've seen something like this before. I think it was Sep that was showing me actually.
Now, for those who are listening on audio and not via visual, this is basically just like a 3D model of a Xbox pad that's been converted to PlayStation. It's got some pretty sick buttons. Oh,
yeah, it looks nice.
What are these ones? Remap for assignment. Mode selection and profile buttons. That is pretty.
It's a really nice layout, isn't it?
Right, so it says detachable. Does that mean it can be wireless?
Yeah, I presume so.
My
yeah.
God, I dread to think of how much this is. Is it going to tell us at the end? Is this PlayStation official pad? Or is this like?
It looks like it.
I don't know if it's a third party one.
It looks like it. It looks like official. Like. Yeah, I'd say it's official.
Oh, but I can't see there being any change out of 100 sheets for this.
No. It's like the Pro pad that they brought out for the Xbox One.
Was it the Elite?
So that was like £120 or something.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's like it's more advanced than a car. It's like you're giving your pad an MOT.
Yeah, it's class, isn't it?
Is it going to tell us the price at the end?
2 bumpers. The bottom.
Revolution Pro controller. It's not a PlayStation official one.
Jeez, it looks very official, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, official licensed product.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Doesn't say the price though.
It does not say the price. I can't imagine it being cheap at all. Oh, he's put it in there. Oh, Wesatron's in. Beans wants the link to be posted again. Though we've already blown the smoke up your ass, Wes. Beans is saying that it's £140. as it's a proper brand. Sepp saying that it's over £100, so I can. Yeah, it's going to be. There's no chance that it's going to be any change out of
£100.
No chance. Absolutely no chance. Right, so going back to the main story, which I've pulled back up. If I go back to the website, there we go. Spiral the Dragon is meant to be getting a remake.
You dropped this link to me there the other day, actually, didn't you?
Mate, like, see, I haven't played the remake of Crash Bandicoot yet, and the missus, honest to God, the missus is going mad that I haven't bought it because she's been asking for it for ages. But apparently it's well hard. Have you heard? Yeah,
the controls. I played the first one, the actual first game on the remaster, and it's like it's more that the controls are just so fucking. Like, I don't know, they're not that tight. Like, as in when you're jumping, sometimes you can over jump or under jump. It's not really, I don't know. I think the second one gets better, like with the controls and stuff, you know. But it's supposed to be actually hard to fucking pass the first one, like, from what I've been reading.
Well, what I'm hoping is that this is going to relate to something like Crash Team Racing, because there isn't a proper like a party racing game for the PlayStation. So with Mario Kart being on the Switch and apparently coming to mobile at some point. Sepp's saying that the pad's actually £64 in Argos.
Fuck.
That is incredibly cheap. With it be, hopefully, I think it's sold well enough for them to actually consider doing more Crash games, because obviously they didn't only just do the original 3, they did 7, I think, overall, including Crash Team Racing. Either that, if they don't remaster the first one, just bring out a new one. They need a party game. That's where the money is for them. It's like basically people are waiting for a game like that. I bought a game because I thought it was online called Beach Buggy Racing, and it plays exactly the same as Mario Kart. Exactly the same. You pick up weapons, you fire them against people. It's split screen only. You can't play it online.
Shit.
So it's like that's wasted money. I mean, the game only costs like £5, so it's like you get what you pay for, really. But as the AV Club are saying here, proving once again that nostalgia is a hell of a force, Activision scored a surprise hit last year with Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, a compilation of the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games remade from the ground up for a modern console. Now, according to the story from Kotaku UK, the publisher is looking to cash in again and bring back another beloved mascot from the PlayStation era, which is Spyro the Dragon.
That would be epic.
I had a look at a Spyro the Dragon game because I was going to get one for my PlayStation, and I think the going rate for a half decent copy that isn't scratched to fuck was going for about £55.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I like Spyro the Dragon, but there is no way that I'm paying 55 sheets for it.
No. I think as well with a lot of the old, like, if you go back and play the old games, it's like they're never as good as
the controls are shit.
They're never like no matter what, you'll never recapture that feeling when you first played them. Like, I know you could go back and play Resi 2 or something like that, and the controls you get used to them after a while, but I don't know, I just think nowadays like everything is so smooth but I think the remasters are good.
Since they brought in like the right analog stick, moving your camera and panning the camera and stuff like that, it just makes life a hell of a lot easier. To actually navigate around stuff, like when you're playing a third-person game or something like I downloaded Resident Evil 4 for the PlayStation 4, like the remastered version, and I honestly cannot tell you why they ended up doing this, but they didn't map the right analog stick to move the camera. So like you still had to lift up your gun, aim down the sight, move your right analog stick whilst you're aiming to find out what was next to you. It was daft. People have mentioned about micro machines. Now, I heard really bad things about micro machines. Like, it was awful. Micro Machine's been remade. I have it. It's awful. There you go. Nando's is saying it's awful. You're not the only person that's seen that. When it came out on PlayStation, people bought it and then ended up getting rid of it straight away. So yeah, that's that one. But yeah, I mean, Spyro the Dragon ends up getting remastered. I think I've got no choice but to buy that.
It's harder. I think it's hard to go like to make the games like they made them like a couple of years back as well. Not saying that it's like, you know, but it's just when you have fucking like the games like Burnout, like was it Burnout 3? I think that was like absolutely unreal. Yeah. There was one of them that was unreal anyway, and then any other one that they've brought out has just been like You know, even though they're pretty very similar, like it's just been not as good. You know, not as like the same with the Need for Speeds. Like they've tried everything to get the magic back, and they just can't. Like you know, so
but yeah, the pinnacle of racing games for me back then, obviously, like you've just mentioned there, like Need for Speed's Underground 2, or just the original Underground. Both of them was unbelievable. I mean, the amount of time that I spent on Underground 2, that's before they even started putting in online stuff. Do you know what I mean? So you're literally just racing against a computer constantly. I think in the end they did actually patch it so you could play online on Underground 2. But like even if they tried that now, it still wouldn't get anywhere close. But people are saying Burnout Paradise. That was an absolutely unbelievable game.
That was it. I think that was the Burnout I played the most of. It was unreal.
There was I can't remember what Burnout game it was, but I don't know if anyone had a PS3. But there was like an outage for like a month. Like they got like everyone's credit card details got released or something. So the servers went down for a month while they tried to patch it again. And when you came back online as compensation, they give away like 8 games, and I think Burnout Paradise was one of them. And I'd never played a Burnout game up until then. But that was an unbelievable game. I think I pulled quite a lot of hours into that. Fish is saying Shadow of the Colossus is one of the best remasters in recent years. Now I think I did see he say that he actually bought that not long ago. It could have even been
he did. I think he saw him on Twitter there saying he bought that and Horizon. I think he was saying.
I'm just going to infuriate a lot of people and say that I've never played it.
I've never played either of them either.
I don't. So I didn't even hear about it until like 2 years ago, and I think by then I've already missed the boat with that, and I don't.
Yeah.
I think the remaster didn't cost that much either. I think it only came out at like 22 sheets, but I know side by side when they showed it screen by screen, it was like night and day the difference between them. Someone saying Abe's Odyssey as well. Again, I downloaded that for the PS4. It wasn't anything close.
Yeah. I agree.
To the original of that. I don't know what that again. I know the controllers on a side scroller don't get that clunky. It's like it's hard to balls that up, but it felt like the balls that up for me.
I have a question for you, not off topic, but kind of on topic, but off track. What game like would you like to bring back if you were bringing back a remaster, like a proper? And I know you're going to say like Resi 2 or something, but like I know that, but like or Silent Hill, but like give me something kind of obscure like that. I suppose I don't know that hasn't been remade or like something like that.
Do you know what?
Like if you were choosing
the one game, like it got blown out of the water only because Red Dead Redemption came out. But did you ever play Gun?
Oh, I remember it vaguely, not too much.
Right.
I remember it vaguely.
I really enjoyed that game, but as soon as Red Dead, I'm sure it came out before Red Dead.
Yeah,
and when Red Dead came out, it was sort of like shit. Gun. It's sort of like this like linear narrative. It's like go here to do this, and then like Red Dead came out. It's like it'll take you 4 days to cross this desert, but I'll tell you what, when you get there and you pick up all this shit, it's going to be worth it. But Gun was an unbelievable game. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I never actually played that, but I do remember. I remembered. All right, was that the one where you could fuck? I remember actually. Was there something you could like? Could you herd cows in it or something like that? No.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, just crazy shit.
So I think it was called Marston or something like that. But that could be Red Dead actually. John Marston.
Red Dead is John Marston. Yeah,
I can't remember what the name of the book was on that.
That's going back a while.
What was it? What was another game? Just another boxing game, like a decent boxing game, like Fighting Out Round 3.
Yeah, oh man.
I don't even think it had a story mode. I think it was just like, have 2 fights, here's a title shot. Have 2 fights, have a title shot. But the amount of hours that me and my mates played against each other on that, just like trying to one punch haymaker them.
Yeah. Counter punch, block them, and in the days for like about 3 seconds, you lay the shit into them.
Like, that'd just be vibrating as you pull it back, like wham. Like UFC, right? Yeah, Precision's just saying then like UFC making, EA making a UFC. I played the UFC game that came out about 10 years ago, and I'm not an MMA fan. I'm not a UFC fan. I don't like this. It's not that I don't like this, but I don't know enough about it, and I don't think the amount of times we've had this debate with people. Personally speaking, I don't think it's as technical as boxing. I don't particularly like it. I just think I know it's 3 rounds of high intensive action and getting in arm bars and stuff like that, but I think boxing is a lot more technical. I prefer it. So I mean, if they brought out another boxing game, it's a no-brainer. I think was Champion the last one they brought out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was a quality game.
I was playing. Now that you're talking about sports games, I was playing. You saw my Snapchat over like when I was on holidays in the arcade.
Yes.
I sent you the picture.
Please tell me you're going to say Virtual Striker.
No, even like that was there. I was playing that as well, but like it was basically like a pound or a euro or whatever to get like 10 tokens in the arcade. And then with that, like most of the games were like 1 token. So like literally I was there for like about 3 hours just playing shit one of the days. But I was playing Virtua Tennis, like the original Virtua Tennis. Oh man, it was actually so good. I played it for about 3 hours, like literally the first day, and then we went back again the next day. And like it was just fucking it was so good. Like I'd love if they brought out a Virtua Tennis, like a proper, or even Topspin, like a proper tennis game, like that was actually fucking decent.
Virtual Tennis.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. A contextual podcast. What's going on, mate? Thanks very much for dropping by. And he's dropped in. I'm guessing, but what he made, it was on SNES, right? Okay. What I was thinking was when he said Man United Soccer, I'm guessing, he says it on the SNES. But I was thinking, did you ever play club football? Like any of the club football games, because they brought out like an Arsenal one. Fucking hell, he even brought a Birmingham.
Oh yeah. I remember that actually. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was. I had a Real Madrid one because obviously City was shit back then, and like they didn't have a pot to piss in.
Before the money,
we didn't have a pot to piss in. So someone actually making a game of Paulo One Shop and Ali Benabi and stuff. I mean, I'd have loved it. It'd have been perfect for me. But I had a Real Madrid one, and I spent a lot of time on that. It was an unbelievable game. A Red Card Soccer. That was
Red Card. And Nando's said that there.
Yeah.
I just have the chat up there now. Sorry, it wasn't loading there for a second. Yeah, they're saying club football was a good series. The contextual podcast saying there. It's amazing how different people have different games that they love. Like back, we mightn't have played. Like I mightn't have played that or Gun, but like nowadays, like we all play the fucking. Yeah. We all play the same games.
This
you know what I mean?
Football.
I don't know if that's
what a game that was. I've got 2005 under the bed, and that's one of them. But I pulled out last night. Hopefully, it's still in its case. Premier League All Stars on the PS2 was decent, and there was actual soccer. I think that had Alan Shearer on the front of it.
It had Shearer, I think. Yeah, I remember that now. All right.
LMA. Oh my god.
This is just turning into a nostalgic trip down like memory lane.
Well, I think most of the people here either grew up in the same generation or they're probably older gamers that have grown up ahead of us. So like obviously when things like actual soccer and that was coming out late 90s, early 90s, I was probably either 12 or 12 maybe. 12 or younger, I don't know, was around that time. Like when the very first ISS came out, was that 90, I want to say 96, 97. Because it came out before it went out on the N64. But I remember getting the first Pro Evolution anyway on PS1. No, I didn't. I got ISS on the PS1.
ISS, I'd say, yeah.
And then on the PS2, the first game I got for that was The Bouncer. I don't know if anybody played that. That came with my PlayStation. It was fucking dreadful.
I remember
that. Going back and playing it, if I was to even add a look at a screenshot of it, I'd probably just melt. It was so shit.
Just puke.
Contextual podcast, thanks very much for the follow there, mate. Sorry, I don't know if I've missed people following. It says +7, so I don't know if people have been following me. Well, I've been there, so I'll just round that up at the end. But FIFA Street again, another world.
Yeah, FIFA Street, yeah.
The one that came out last time, the one that came out on the 360, and they had like Samba football and stuff like that. I fucking loved that. Like online was class. Like building your little team up.
Yeah,
that was mint.
All those old EA games like the Street and like NFL and NBA Street were brilliant as well for the career modes.
Never played the only NBA game that I played, and two because obviously Jam. It wasn't a 2K one. It was
probably live, so was it?
I don't even think it was that. I think it was some proper dodgy shit one. I can't even remember what console it was on. It was shit. It was really bad. NBA Street was quality of the DJ. Cucumber Slice.
Yeah, that's it. NBA Street.
That is the best. Cucumber Slice.
NBA Street was just madness, though. Like the game breakers and all that shit. And NFL Street was the exact same. I remember NFL Street 2, I think, was the best. It was actually really deep, like, you know, it was actually really hard to get good at it.
So I played NHL, was probably the only American sport that I played more than anything. Because there was the 2K ones was by far the best. And then I think EA probably just perfected some of the stuff, and that's like the only series that I think EA have absolutely nailed on, especially when they brought out pro clubs for NHL. Do you know what I mean? How good of an idea is that? But I really enjoyed that. But NHL, sorry, NBA, American football, NFL, whatever you want to call it. I just can't. Baseball again, fucking boring.
Yeah, you can't stand the American sports, can you?
Rounders on a bigger scale, do you know what I mean? Shit.
The NBA is good now at the moment, alright. I'm not a massive fan of the NFL, but the NBA is... I love NBA. It's probably my favourite sport now, I'd say, at the moment. I'm just really into it, like, and NBA 2K
you bought it
is
on your
fucking...
Switch, didn't you?
Yeah, I have it on the PS4 and the Switch, and like I literally watch as many fucking games as I can. Like I just love it once you get into it, you know.
Yeah. And I'm sure they give away one, like either last year or the year before, and I just have to re-download it because I downloaded it and I think I started it, and then never got into it.
They gave 17 away for free last year on one of the
PlayStation Plus.
I think it was 17.
It could that could be the one that
Plus.
I mean, I add every single PlayStation Plus game to my library. Like I'll never let one go.
Yeah.
Even if I know I'll never play it, they're giving it away for free. Do you know what I mean? You might come back to it at some point.
Exactly.
Right, so I know that you've played this game quite a lot, and I definitely know the Contextual podcast has played it, because every single time I listen to his podcast, he's been talking about it left, right, and centre. So, PlayerUnknown Battleground has now sold 30 million copies, but player numbers are dropping at the same time. So
I believe that, yeah.
So according to the numbers on Steam Spy, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has now sold over to 30 million copies, and very few video games managed to achieve. As impressive as that is, it's still not been enough to prevent the game base from seeing its first notable drop in players since it first blew up. The game has seen around a 5% drop in players comparing 30-day average numbers. Part of this may be due to developer Bluehole introducing a new anti-cheat measure over the past month, removing some players from the pool, and it may be partly down to the game's rate of growth being impossible to maintain indefinitely.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
So, I know a lot
That's
of people...
mad. The last line there that you didn't read out is fucking crazy. It still has more concurrent players than the next 10 games on Steam combined. Yeah. That's fucking mad. That is crazy.
For a game,
it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Do you know what it is? Right? I bought an Xbox, and that was one of the reasons why, because I was just kind of sick of fucking, I don't know, like apart from GTA and PES and NBA, like I just wanted something that you could kind of dip in and dip out of without actually having to invest in it. You know, because in PES, like you can't, like I still have players like that are fucking white balls, like genuinely white balls, because I just don't have enough like squad players like in my team. Like I don't have enough money spent or enough GP spent. So like I got the Xbox One for Halo and like PlayerUnknown, and it was like it's brilliant. Like it is brilliant. The concept of it is brilliant, but I just think that like I don't know, the novelty of it, like it definitely does wear off after about like 10-15 games, because you're like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it needs to either be, I don't know, I'd prefer if it was like, you know, longer, as in you could kind of set up a proper, not set up a base as in build shit like Minecraft or something like that, but set up an actual defense, or else like have the matches a bit smaller. I know that's contradicting myself, but like either have it a small bit smaller, or I don't know, it's hard to explain it unless you've played it a lot, but I've
played a bit of PUBG. I'm not that good at it, but what Fish has just said it is probably true, because a lot of kids now will, unless they've got their parents or whatever to go and buy that game for them, Fortnite's come out, done exactly the same thing, slightly cartoonish, like Borderlands, kind of, that kind of cartoony vibe to it. And they'll give it away for free. So like, if anybody even thought, oh, have you played PUBG? No, I can't afford it. Okay, I'll go and play Fortnite instead. No, I think Fortnite is not as tactical. However, I've seen people building bases and like massive towers and things like that I've just got absolutely no idea on how to do it. Like I've played quite a bit of Fortnite, and I'm not anywhere close to being in probably the top 75 players of the top 75% of the players on that game. I can kill 4 or 5 people a game, no problems, but I cannot for the life of me spin around fast enough and throw these walls up and stuff like that. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'd much rather play PUBG, but I'm not as good on that as I am in Fortnite. I don't know if that's because I've not played it enough, or I just can't get my head around it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I've been unlucky with the drops that I found. I don't know, but I can see why the numbers are dropping. But at the same time, it took off far too quick for it to ever maintain that kind of sales. Like, every game has its limits. Now, you're just thrown into a game with 100 people. There's no... The only achievement that you can get is being number 1. Now, I don't know if that's... You can't take any of that. As far as I'm aware, you can't take what you've won in the last game into the new game. Like, you just win that number 1 title, you go back in, you start with balls all again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get like you get money, or like you get a currency like reward for wherever you position, wherever you end, and you can buy like crates and stuff to be delivered to and shit like that. But like I don't know what they're going to do like with it, like, because somebody is going to come out and like do one. I know Red Dead was rumored to be, that's why it was pushed back.
Can you imagine that?
Well, that's the rumor, is that it was pushed back deliberately to put in like a battle royale mode. So that, like, if they do that and you can actually, you know, set up a base and stuff, I don't know, it would definitely kill it on arrival, you know, because it would have the Red Dead quality behind it, or the Rockstar quality behind it, like, you know.
On Fortnite, I know that if you win a game, you end up getting a new umbrella and you can drop faster.
Yeah. And
stuff like that. But that, for me, isn't the dying reason why I'd go back and play it again. Like, I play PES to get coins to buy players. Do you know what I mean? I've got I've got there's an end goal. You win the game, you get your 3 points, you get the coins, you spin your players, you get the players, you move into your next game, you may win the next game, you move up into the division. There's an end goal, there's an achievement made, but in them 2 games, and I'm probably only in the minority with both of them, I can play them probably twice. I'll probably play a game a day, and then I'm just like, right, in a bit. There's nothing for me to keep on going back to.
Yeah.
What's the chat saying? Come play with us. Oh, that's gone. South Park Stick of Truth is South Park Stick of Truth was a fucking phenomenal game. That says, mate, I've only won about 4 games. Only play it with the missus though. I read Dead Redemption 2 Battle Royale, or something like a Battle Royale mode in something like a Battlefield would be cool. Yes. I mean, either one of them. Like, I'm pretty, without blowing my own trumpet again, I think I'm pretty good at Battlefield. Like, compared to COD, shit at COD, but Battlefield, I can take my time with that.
Yeah.
Damn, I missed an hour. Had stuff to do. Sorry, baby. Don't worry about it. I'm recording it locally as well. And obviously, once this is finished, it'll be on Twitch. There's no music or anything, so hopefully the sound won't be dubbed, and it's going to go on SoundCloud either tomorrow or later on tonight. Battlefield 4 is my game. I totally agree. Yeah, like, I like the steady pace of it. I like to be able to take my time. I like to be able to drop in, pick up what I need to do without even coming up against someone, and then get into the war zone rather than spawning in somewhere and I'm instantly... I don't know what it is. I just can't move my fingers fast enough. I'm not that good. I need to take my time with stuff, which is why, like, on Pro Evo or something and FIFA, mine's all build up from the back. It's like I can't. It's not 100 mile an hour. I can't do it. I don't think I can think fast enough to be able to achieve it. Right, so that's that news story done. The next one, I've picked this one out only because I adored the first one, and it was at a time where we had, everyone who's in it is probably the same age as us, and there was a time where you couldn't go on the internet without you asking your mum or your family member or something like that, because it costs by the minute or by the hour or something like that. So this game I played me and my sister more than anything, which was Theme Hospital.
Oh man, I just have it up here now.
Like, basically there's a new one coming out. It's like a spiritual successor. It's called 2 Point Hospital. Now, from what I remember, I don't know much about it, but there was the development team at EA, I think, who published Theme Hospital. The people who made that game ended up leaving, and they've made their own company called 2 Point, which is basically where they've got this idea of doing another theme hospital because there hasn't been one since. So I'll just read the first snippet out here, which is a PC Gamer Weekender has given us a first look at some 2 Point Hospital gameplay, the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. Development is being led by some of the original game's creators and Lionhead Bullfrog veterans. Bullfrog, it wasn't EA, it's Bullfrog. Mark Webby and Gary Carr were on hand to show the game off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this bigger and play it, so you get rid of my face on the screen, which is nice. I'm not putting it on for 7 minutes, Jesus Christ.
This looks sick.
If it plays, which I'm probably guessing it won't. If I press play. Yeah, no worries. Oh, I gotta repress. I have to repress it. For all you audio listeners, I am refreshing the page. This really hasn't gone as smooth as I thought it was gonna do.
It never does with us, to be honest. It's always fucked up somewhere or another.
Like, this video just isn't playing. Anyway, I tell you what.
Do you know what I bet you it is? Have you got, like, ads running on your ad blocker? Have you an ad blocker, no?
Of course I have, mate.
Yeah, well, that's why I probably won't play it then.
I've literally just...
Because I guarantee it'll be an ad now.
Probably.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're probably right there, actually. People are definitely going to see what I've been looking at on YouTube now.
That's a dangerous hole to go down.
It's a very dangerous hole.
Fuck's sake.
Here we go. I'll definitely edit that bit out.
The art guys will quite often get inspired. They'll go away and think about, right, what's gonna look cool based on that.
So yeah, it's like pretty much exactly the same.
We think are gonna work the best.
Oh man, yeah, it actually that has actually taken me back.
Ice Cream Uploads, thank you very much for joining us.
We'll reject the ones where it's just the
Yo, what's up? All the new people in here. I'm not really watching the chat that much.
Oh, I've got a hell of a lot more people here than I thought I would do, and honestly, I do mean it. When I say thank you very much for joining us. It does mean a lot.
Watch this fucker in the door there. Oh, it's gone now.
But you know what I mean?
I remember these games were crazy. Like they had all like weird illnesses, hadn't they?
So like someone would walk in with like a massive head and stuff like that, and they'd just like they'd get a pin and pop them. Fish, thanks very much for stopping by, pal. I'll speak to you in a bit. But yeah, like they just come in with like a stupid massive head or something, and they just like go, I can just imagine the PA going off something like something in an inflator room or something like that, something dodgy over the tannoy, and they'd go in and just get their head popped. But like
but there was loads of these. They had like Theme Park as well, hadn't they? They had like Theme Park Hospital and the Theme Park, the actual the roller coaster tycoon and all those ones. Remember them?
Yes. Like shamefully, I started playing Roblox like a year ago, and they had a theme park on that, and that's literally the only game that I played on Roblox, because I remember going to my brother's and you can get Roblox on your 360, and he was playing. What was he playing? It was like a theme game, but it was like building shops. But you're in a town with like 5 other people, and they're building their shop, and you're building your shop, but you had to fight for the same customers. And I was like, that's a bit of me. So I went home, downloaded it, and I didn't end up playing that. I just ended up playing a theme park on it. Absolutely loving it. So I head back to that. So I'll just read the second bit. The game takes place in the fictional 2 Point county, and it sees you managing hospitals in different areas, dealing with different issues, and each location serves up. The weather is one thing that's mentioned. It can change the challenge. Jeez, I can't put my teeth back in. Still pissed from Friday. You'll also have to deal with factions like pharmaceutical companies that can be good or evil. As you progress, you'll have to research new cures and manage staff who now have different character traits that influence their behaviour and performance. The example given was the way of staff on breaks arguing and dancing about depending on their personality. Fuck.
That's just fucking crazy.
So I'm guessing picking up the right person for the job and playing a part here. No one wants a surgeon who likes to buggy mid-operation. So yeah, it's just all little stuff like that. I can't wait for it, really. It doesn't give a date of when it's likely to be coming out, which is a bit annoying. However, I imagine it's definitely going to be worth the wait. And the last bit of news before we move on to the main topic, which obviously I'll get to if you don't already know what it is Devil May Cry HD will be free this month for Twitch Prime members.
Ooh, nice.
So I don't know if any of you are. So I'm not a Twitch Prime member. It's something that I may end up considering. I mean, it is only available for PC, so it's not available for people on PS4 or anything. I don't even think did they make a remake of it yet?
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, I'm nearly sure they did.
It could be that they brought out a newer one. But I mean, Devil May Cry, the original one, was unbelievable. Like, again, another game that I played so much growing up.
Yeah. It's coming out. It's coming out soon for the PS4. I'm nearly sure. Anyway.
In fact, Devil May Cry HD Collection releases on March 13th for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And
there we go. Oh, it's down to bottom.
Yeah, and comprises the first 3 games of the series.
3 games. Yeah, they were good now. In fairness, the last one that they brought out wasn't great. It was okay, like, but I don't know. The story was a bit stupid in it.
I've just read the caption of this, and it's it's an absolute creesh. You Dante, who want to miss out on this?
That's actually like something you'd say.
It's really poor.
Yeah.
Shinobi, I couldn't put Devil May Cry down. What a game! It was. I don't know who I was listening to. I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying like the first time they've come across Devil May Cry was the first time they played an adult-orientated game. So like the fact that you could throw someone up in the air and just keep on, because it was a Nintendo fan.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a Nintendo podcast that I was listening to, and they said that all they've done is grow up with things like Yoshi and Mario and all the other Nintendo characters that you can imagine, playing Pokemon or whatever. And then Devil May Cry came out, and he said he looked at the front cover of it, and it was just obviously Dante stood there with his massive leather coat, pointing a gun at the screen, and then he ended up playing it. And at his mate's house, and they was just like throwing people up in the air, killing these giant clown spirits or whatever it was, and just blood everywhere and stuff. I can relate to that. It wasn't the first adult game that I played. I obviously played Resident Evil beforehand, but it was the first time that I think I played a hack and slash game that was actually half decent and wasn't. Was Kingdom Hearts? That was like a hack and slash game, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. I've never actually played any of those, so I can't really.
I remember.
That's all the Disney characters, though, isn't it?
I remember. I'm sure my sister had that game. I'm fairly certain she had Kingdom Hearts. And I'm sure I remember seeing her play that. I was just like, I don't think that looks like it's for me. But taking that element.
Are you sure it's not turn-based combat in that? No, as in like Final Fantasy, the earlier Final Fantasies. No, I thought it was. Could be wrong.
Anyone played Ninja Gaiden? Mate.
Yeah, that was unreal. The first one on the original Xbox was just fucking.
I had that on my 360.
That was brilliant. No, that was.
I got that one with my 360.
Oh, you had. Was that not a different one on the 360?
It could have been. But I'm sure it was a version of it.
Yeah, it probably was, because there was one Sigma as well, as far as I remember. The first one was fucking brilliant. I remember. It's really good.
Right, so I think we best move on to the main topic now. I'm going to change this now because I'm not going to need the screen anymore. Let's whip it back to that. So the main topic is obviously PES. We're both in the PES community, so it's the one thing that we can talk about for days. So the current state, people. I don't even know how to start this off properly, or where to start, because I don't want to start with negatives. But
follow your heart, baby.
Right. Okay. So I think the way it is at the moment, this is going out on a Sunday. Now, obviously, the people who are in this chat, the chances are, I mean, Beans has already come up with it here, and Virgil said it. Today's the 18th. Now, I don't know if any of you, or all of you that are in here, are obviously part of the PES community. I don't think you'd find this on Twitch in the talk show section and think, I'll have a bit of that ginger guy, and have a go into it. So the way it's been portrayed today is obviously the community is not at each other's throat, but it's not. Is it falling to pieces? I don't want to say it's falling to pieces, because obviously there's two different sides to the PES community. There's the people. In fact, I'd probably say there's three. There's three different sides to this PES community. There's the side that plays it for nostalgia. There's a side that wants to play for the main prize, which is PES League, and the hardcore my club gamers, and then there's the middle side, which I would probably say, I'd argue a case that me and you are probably in, which is we play it for social reasons. So I think they're the three defining sides. Now, the way it's come about at the moment is obviously when there's money comes into the fray, and the PES League stuff that's been going on recently, like, and I'm not going to mention anybody's names or anything like that because it's not my place to say it, and I don't know enough about these people to say that it's worthwhile talking about. But it's come to light that obviously our PES Universe Pros have gone to Barcelona. They stream all of their games, so they can see that it's fair. It's the level playing field. But there's people who apparently aren't being. There's nothing that's been shown to me for me to make a judgment decision on that. But it's come to light that there's people who have been cheating to try and get there. Now, I don't think that's for me to say that they have outright been cheating. Nothing's been provided to me to make a judgment on that. The only people that can make judgment on that is the people who actually run the thing in the first place.
Yeah. I don't know. There's the biggest problem I have, I suppose, is there's a difference between like cheating and there's a difference between messing up your connection. That's like, and I know a lot of people might think that that's kind of just staying in the grey area too much rather than, you know, put your colours to the mast or whatever. But I know for a fact that there is some people that genuinely do play with a controlled connection in terms of if they are losing or if they're playing against somebody good, they can make it that the connection favours them in a way. But it still means that, like, the thing that I find difficult to accept with people that say that is that if I'm playing against you, Bib, and your connection and my connection, like, just say I'm a little laggy or whatever, or my passes are going astray, like, I'm still going to get one or two shots on goal, like, that I can convert. Yeah. Like, you know, PES 2018 is built around attacking, like, it's not built around defending. Like, the defending in it is basically run into the man and get the ball, and if you don't, you know, you're not, like, that's kind of it, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's been very vague, I suppose, on how to defend in the game, and Seppo would probably kill me for saying that with all his tactics and all that, but like, at the end of the day, like, no matter how shit you are and how good I am or vice versa, I'm still going to get a chance, or I'm still going to get a goal, or something's going to open up where I get a shot on goal that I can actually score. So I don't know, like, the people that are using that are playing with fucking 3G hotspots or playing with like shit Wi-Fi connections instead of, you know, direct to the PS4 or whatever. I don't know, like, if that's cheating, as in somebody like going 2-0 down, lag cheating and voiding the match. Like, that's, you can't defend that if somebody is lag cheating where they're cancelling the result. Like, that is cheating. Like, there's no grey area there. It's black and white. You're either, you know, a legit player or you're not. But there is some people that do use means to, I suppose, control the connection. And I don't know what you feel about that, whether that's like bona fide cheating or if it's if
you was ultimately taking if you were taking the connection out of the two pit players' hands, out of the other person's hands, then yeah, I'd deem that as cheating.
Yeah,
because you are basically giving yourself the advantage over the person before the person's even kicked a ball.
Yeah,
I'd 100% agree that is outright cheating. Now, the people who have been accused of being cheating, that's not for me to say at all.
Yeah,
I've not played against these people. However, I will say that I have seen these people play live twice now, the people who are being accused, and I can honestly say that they will wipe the floor with probably 90% of the community in a one-on-one. It's as simple as that. Regardless of if they've cheated to get there or not, which isn't the right way of going to get there. I've seen them play. They are the one thing I will say about it, and they are dirtbags for doing it, is in fact, it's not even a dirtbag move because it's in the game. They play pass assist free, and every single pass that they do, it goes right to the feet every single time. But if you're playing against someone who's got pass assist free and you're playing pass assist one, then again you're always straight away at a disadvantage.
Yeah. I think the problem with the PES community, not that there's a problem with it, but like, I still think it's one of the best communities around in terms 100%. Of, like, you know, the amount, there's definitely more good people in it than bad. And I know it's because it's smaller and whatever, but I think the biggest problem with it is that everyone has an opinion on everything and everyone disagrees on something that, like, I'll agree with you on pass assist, but then I might disagree with white benching, or I might disagree with, you know, with somebody that white benches. Like, I'd have zero issue with somebody that white benches, like zero. Like, I don't give a shit like what team I be playing, if they're trying to control which level team that they play. If, like, whatever players I have that are fit, that have contracts, they play the match. Like, you know what I mean? That's it. Like, for me, I don't be mixing and trying to find the perfect rating or the perfect...
The fine line between that is, you don't play PES half as much as the people who stream it, including myself. I don't play PES half as... I'd probably say that in this community, I'm probably one of the lowest ranked hours played out of everybody who streams this game. Anybody that defines themselves as being part of the PES community, who's not in the clique, shall we say, I hate using that word, but the people who are in... Like, if I was in the PES family, I would be 100% be rock bottom of that list of hours played a week. 100%. I'd probably play it an hour a day, if that. Then there's people obviously like Fish and Sepp who've got racking up 150 people in their streams every single time they play, and they'll play for 4 or 5 hours straight, and their faces will not change whether or not they've been slapped 6-1. Or slapped 1-0, or they've won 10-0. They will still grind that result out, and they'll still carry on playing. Whereas me, if I get beat 5-1, I am absolutely raging, and the stream is being cut from at least 2 hours down to about 10 minutes straight after that. But I haven't got the patience to sit there. I mean, I get bored very quickly. There's not many games out there that I can literally sit there and binge for 5 or 6 hours a day. There's very few of them. Resident Evil is probably the only game that will sit there and I will play. But it's a storyline game. I'm a very much storyline driven person. Like, if it doesn't hold my attention, then there's no way that we're playing with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard, and especially when people have different kind of opinions on stuff away from the cheating and that, like, which I totally disagree with the lag cheating and all that. And it's something that, no matter which way you look at it, if Konami don't, like, it's funny, people think that because we don't go on to Twitter and fucking, and I know you're the same as me, babe, like, you have a lot to say, but, like, you don't need to go on to Twitter. I'd never publicly, like, go on to Twitter and make a scene in terms of, something that's there, or I'm just not like that as a person. I know some people are on every topic. There's a couple of people I know on Twitter that, like, I'd have good time from, but, like, they'd be the type of people that you'd be out in a pub with them and they just would not shut up, so you'd have to walk away. You know what I mean? And Twitter brings that out in them, where they literally have an opinion on everything and anything. Yeah. And it's not just, PES is just a platform to give out about that. But, yeah, I don't know. I just think that people need to... I mean, when we did that survey that we did, and there's going to be a good few articles. I know you've seen a couple of articles in the back end of the site. Like, there's some people actually that kind of message me or through the PES Universe Twitter account, people that I wouldn't have expected to give feedback, and the feedback they gave and the points that they put out when they were given the chance to actually say, look, instead of bitching about it on Twitter, like, actually put it down in proper English, proper structure, like, I'll edit it if you need help editing, or Bibby will, or whatever. Just get down your thoughts without actually... That's
exactly what Matthew was saying now. He said he lets his thought know. That survey, at the time when I checked it, I think the last time I checked it was Wednesday, and I think we had something like 160 people have let their thoughts be on there, and obviously that is... I didn't put anywhere in the disclaimer form when I was writing it that this can be released. Now, I don't know where I stand with an anonymous comment, because a lot of people didn't put their names next to it for whatever reason. I give that option for them not to be able to do that. In case, because that probably would put people off knowing that it's come from them. But all they've done is, and I've got to say, it's been fairly even with the 50-50. They'll give, if there was given there's not one person that's give a negative and not give a positive next to it. So obviously they're still playing it for a reason. But I would find it incredibly hard for someone to play a game for more than 60 hours. If it's a sports game, probably 30 or 40 hours, because it's the same thing over and over again, where they will not find a fault in the game. There is no way.
But you're playing it to death, you see. That's the thing. You're playing the same core gameplay to death. You're learning each code.
Like, you know what your player's going to do, and if you've got that player and the other person's got that player, you know full well what their pros and cons. Now, obviously the form takes it out of context a little bit, but if their form is high, chances are probably yours is, because it's had a live update that week. But I'd find it incredibly difficult to find a game that if you put more than 60 hours in on a game, that you will not find flaws. Significantly less for a sports game, because there's only so much you can do on a sports game. It's not the outcome isn't different every single time you play it. You have a win, lose or draw. There's no fourth option. Now sometimes that result can be taken out of your hands because you may miss 2 open nets that for whatever reason it hasn't gone in, whether or not you've just ski-whiffed it, you put too much power on it, or you've daisy cut it and it's not gone in. That could be taken out of your hands. People say scripting is a thing all the time. I can see a lot of times why scripting is a thing, because it does happen. I'm not going to say outright that it doesn't happen. But yeah, it's one of them. If the result's taken out of your hands, I can see why people get frustrated with it. But I still think 30 or 40 hours worth of a sports game where you're playing a 6-minute game or a 7-minute game or an 8-minute game constantly over and over again, repetitive, going from Division 10 to Division 1 and then dropping down like I've done. This year I've managed to get into Division 2, which is the highest I've ever got in on PES Online. I don't consider myself to be a great PES player. Like, I can compete against anybody on a certain day, but most of the time it's pure luck that I get through everything. So I got to Division 2, and since then, since that first relegation, I have nosedived down to Division 7, and I've pretty much streamed the whole downfall of me playing online. So it's just like loss, draw, win, loss. So I've not managed to get more than 3 wins in a row for at least a month, if not more. And that's I'm losing 2 games, I'm getting pissed off and I'm turning it off. But most of that is down to me. That's not down to the game being shit. That's me. I'm not that calibre of player. I mean, I did well to manage to get there in the first place, and I think it was just got my blinkers on, and I just knuckled down. And then after that, shit. And then Matthew's just coming in now saying, "I beat you 3-2 the other night." That's not that's not out of the ordinary. I get beat by people all the time. It's just how it is.
Yeah, but you play like, I think the thing about it as well, babe, is that you play a different way. You play a different way than like balls to the wall, kind of, one-touch passing on 3-bar pass assist. Like, that's what a lot of people play with.
I will play that game like I am watching a football match. I will try and dictate the tempo of that match. I will not smack the ball 70 yards down the field to Ronaldo for him to flick it onto someone. I will get that ball down, and I will just keep on passing it until something opens up. And most of the time, I don't think I've got the players to be able to combat the counter pressure that I keep on putting myself under. I don't think it works for me. However, I won't change the way that I play just for the sake of trying to grind out a few more wins.
No. Well, it's just the way you enjoy playing. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. That's it, But I think the people that are good at the game, it's it's more about like getting the ball back rather than when they have the ball like at a real kind of thought going into what they're doing with it. It's just, the minute that they lose the ball, they're pressing to get it back, and that comes with a lot of practice.
I haven't got that ruthlessness in me to outscore my opponent. I can't do it. I mean, obviously a lot of you know here will know Sick Pattern, and there's a lot of times where I played him and he is just fucking ruthless in front of goal. Like, if he gets a chance, it's going in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just relentless pressure over and over and over and over again. It's just wave after wave. And he was the one that said it to me. He said, "You're just not ruthless enough in front of goal. You don't want to attack. What you'll do is you'll work it out wide. You can easily cut in, but you'll go back and you'll start again." It's like, I haven't got that attacking presence in my head. I feel like how Arsenal play and how City play, they want to walk the ball into the net. And I think that's what I've got in my head every single time that I try and pick up that pad and try and play, which obviously you shouldn't do in a football game. It's you score a goal, you'd lose or draw, whatever happens. But yeah, I don't.
Weza is the same. Like, when he gets, like, I've played Weza a few times, and in fairness, he's only spanked me once. Like, I've played him a good few times, but he's spanked me once, I think. But other than that, I think he's always beaten me. Like, we've either drawn or he's beaten me 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever. But he's just so he's so ruthless when you give him a chance. Like, he literally put it away from anywhere. Whereas, like, I'm not at that level in terms of, and I'm able to accept that. Like, I don't have to, do you know what I mean? I don't have to, like, say, like, he was lucky, or he got, he probably did get a couple of lucky bounces along our matches, but he's a better player than me. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people in the community, especially on Twitter, especially if you have a platform, like, when you're losing games, like they take it as a personal like thing that they lose a match. Whereas, like, I think if you're winning 1 out of 2 games, you're doing well, because the game is developed to give everybody of all skill levels a chance.
That's what the online,
you know what I mean?
The online balance. There isn't a skill gap in any online game. There isn't a game. Sorry, hiatus. Sorry, I didn't see you when you came on.
Hi, mate. How are you doing?
I don't think there's any online game now where there is a skill gap. It doesn't exist anymore. There is no way, but I can't. I'm thinking now of all the online games that I played recently, and I can't think of one where even if you was the best person on that, whether it be COD, Battlefield, Pro Evo, NBA. I haven't played that, but I can imagine. I'm sure me and you have had conversations where you can. It's just that obviously it's end to end constantly, but there's not a game where there's a skill cap involved. There'll always be a catch up, no matter what.
Well, that's it. Like, it's just, you're never sure. Even in, like, when you're playing like Mario or any of the racing games, like even GTA Online, like you're always thereabouts in the races. Like, you're always thereabouts in Mario Kart or whatever, where like there's always one person who's like a beast, but like then in the next race, then he'll come last or he'll come fucking in the middle.
What I heard
about
Mario Kart as well, and this is like the epitome of Nintendo trying to get everybody on the same level playing field. It's fairly common knowledge now. I know it. I think, why didn't I think of this before? But if you are in the first position, there is no way that you can ever get a blue shell, a red shell, or a green shell. The only weapon that you'll end up picking up is that horn,
a banana,
or a banana. You'll never be able to pick up anything else. So there's nothing that you can pick up that will help you have a gap between you second, third, fourth, wherever they are. So if you are further behind the queue, say you're 7th, 8th, or 9th, or even further down, the likelihood of you picking up a red shell, a blue shell, green shell, like, significantly heightens, just to try and give that skill gap between you, make it be a lot shorter, so that the person out in first isn't winning the lap by 3 or 4 seconds. But Nando's has just said that the F1's the only game where he has played where actually being good counts. But I think every game now, developers will not develop a game where the skill gap of the best of the best of the best are untouchable and you can't get anywhere close to them. They'll always make a game where the skill gap between you may be 1 or 2 seconds, but it'll never be 4 or 5, or they'll never be 5 moves ahead of you, that type of thing. I don't think, anyway.
No, it's just like, it's stacked that you have, obviously if you're out in front, you don't need as much help as somebody who's like rooted at the bottom of or last, you know, or like hasn't won a game in the last couple of like races that they've played, you know. Because what happens then is you just get pissed off and you say, oh, I'm shit at this, or else because people can't accept that they are actually shit at a game, and like they just blame everything else, you know what I mean? And that is a problem actually there, that Hiatus has actually wrote a good comment there, that people, second, I'll try find it. You can see it there.
Yeah, I've got it up here. I've got it.
He said the disparity between between how good people are and how good they think. Like, that is actually so true of PES, of all games. You know what I mean? Like, it just like, I know my level in PES. Like, I know who I could take on, and I know who I could give a good game to if I really sat down and did my tactics and was making changes like based on how they were breaking me down and all that. But like, at the end of the day, like, my lifestyle and my other like stuff going on in life, you know, like coming home from work, spending time with the girlfriend or whatever, with friends, coming home, like, I don't want to sit there for 20 minutes before each game, like, or during the game, in fucking pause screens, like, do my tactics and stuff. And that's not saying that people that do that are like, you know what I mean, like wasting their time, because that's what they enjoy to do.
I think the people who do that have an audience, and I would say that they're the elites in this game. Now, I don't want to using the word elite kind of takes them out of the pot of everybody else, and I'm fairly certain they will not appreciate that type of thing. But they are the people who if I needed something, I needed to know something, they're the people I'd go to, and that's why I'd see them as the elite. If I needed to mop up a few things, like if I needed a new manager, for instance, like people like Sepp and like Fish, if I needed a new manager, I see them as my club expertise. They play it enough for me to trust their word.
Yeah.
So if I needed a new manager, I needed someone who can like counter, use the wings, but quite defensive at the same time. I'm fairly certain within 5 minutes to say, right, this is the person for you. So having those people around helps me a lot, and I'm fairly certain. I think there was a comment, a person who came in here and actually thanked Sepp and Fish for helping them, because I know I think Sepp gives one-on-ones with people, to his subscribers. So if they're lacking in a certain department, he'll sit down with them, fight a share play, and help them out and stuff like that. And I don't think there's many communities around here that will do that for someone if they needed help.
Yeah, but that's the good side of it, like, as well, you know. And like our team at PES Universe, like, we have people from literally like all over the world, like, talking and interacting with each other on a daily basis. Like, I was away on holidays last week, and I was talking to Carrasco, who's people will probably know him. He's one of our main editors on the option file, like, and he's from Spain. And we were literally just talking like for about 2 or 3 days or more a week. And I was gone for 5 weeks, so we're talking for about 15 days in total, just purely about holidays. Like, nothing got to do with PES. And it was like, I would have never met this fella before if I, like, you know, and he's a lot younger than me and you.
Yeah.
So we would have definitely never have anything in common. But because we've had that kind of break the ice with PES, like, he's now, like with me and you, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I don't really have much time for you now as it is still, but you're not as big of bollocks as I thought you were before, you know, that kind of way. And that's because of PES. So I don't know, it's just, that's the good side of it. And Sepp obviously knows his shit, like, he, you know, and he's too nice, is what I call Sepp. But Fish and Sepp and them, they've played it enough to know what would help you or me without them having, you know, without even having to ask for it, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of people now that obviously I've either met, spoke to, or anything in between. There's not. I don't think there's much level ground in between. That obviously, any other event that they're going to get together, I'm going to end up seeing them again, and I've got a lot of time for. But there's no. I've not been involved in any, but like, that never happened in Resident Evil community. Like, it just wouldn't happen. Like, there's people like the Survival Horror Network on YouTube and stuff like that. Every comment section is just either him arguing with someone or them arguing with someone. Like, it's not even an online game. Do you know what I mean? But everybody has their own narrative. Everybody has their own opinion on stuff, and obviously, at the end of the day, it's their opinion on the current state of stuff. What else? I can't really back up anything else apart from that. Everyone has their own opinion. They're entitled to it. I'm not going to say that they're talking absolute shit unless it's a fact. If it's a fact and they're still talking shit, it's like, well, why? Why are you just making yourself look a dickhead? But either way, that's exactly what it is. Is there anything else that you'd like to go over regarding PES or anything else?
No, I don't think so. I just think that people need to, I don't know, I have a lot of different opinions than other people that play it, but then you could talk, you know, we could stay here till fucking 12 o'clock tonight talking about PES, because no matter what we do, it is probably like a series that we'll always, you know, we'll always have, like, in our gaming kind of life, I suppose. It's like with Resident Evil with you. Like, you couldn't imagine not playing a Resi every 3 years. No. Do you know what I mean? Like, there have to be something, or else you go back and start playing the old ones or whatever.
I just end up playing the old ones again.
It's just something there, like, you know, that you'd be craving just playing a series. But I think with PES, I think people need to I think they need to look at the positives.
Though, is only because I think it, like you said, I only keep on playing PES. Playing Resident Evil because I know what I'm getting, whereas in PES I don't think there's the depth to keep me playing. Like, the way, if I was to go back and play one of the old PES's, the Master League system back then, before they even started bringing money into it, you used to, like, win coins and stuff like that, didn't you? And then go off and
points,
and do it that way. Like, I know what I'm getting from those games, but I'd play FIFA for the sake of playing pro clubs. And if I wanted an actual, I played the Journey on the last year's edition. I haven't played it this year, but again, that's an option within the game. There's a little bit more depth to it. Like, if there was to bring pro clubs into Pro Evo, I would highly doubt I would ever play FIFA again. Like, there's no other way, because that's the only thing that keeps me playing FIFA. The fact that you can create a bloke, you can get onto the field, you can do a few passes, and his skill level will go up. You score a few goals. Skill level go up, you get a few man of match. Skill level go up, you score a few more goals, they'll go up even further, and you can play with like 11 of your mates on the same thing. Like, again, I'll just mention the Contextual podcast. He did a live stream of him and his family. Like, I think there was like 7 of them. Like, he got his sisters, his kids, who was all playing pro clubs together. And now there's not many other games that you can play that with. Ice Cream Uploads, you've just spoken about that bona fide ledge that is Graham Daymuch. This isn't Graham, by the way. It really isn't, honest. Fucking not talking about him.
Who's Graham Day?
I've no idea.
Like, sounds familiar.
I miss Toby already.
I don't know. Yeah.
I miss Toby.
Yeah, I don't know. Beans asked there, did you like DP3
as
in the data pack 3?
I've seen that pop up as I was mid-sentence.
I know you're a bit rude, so I'll just...
super rude, mate. Have I played it since data pack 3? Yes, I streamed it on that day. And I've gone back and I've played maybe 2 or 3 games more. Maybe, I think it was over yesterday. I haven't played it today. I haven't seen a difference. The first spin that I ended up getting was Vardy, so it was an instant gold ball, which I was absolutely buzzing about. But the way the game's playing, I don't feel any different. I'm really not being, like, I'm not lying when I say this. My connection this year, I will probably get 1 in 20 games where I'll just have like an unbelievable lag. But apart from that, the game for me has been perfectly playable. Like, I don't get half as many problems as everybody else does. I don't know if that's because of the service provider that I'm on. I don't know if whoever I'm playing. Like, I played in that PES Online League, and unfortunately it came about 8th out of 10, I think, in the end. I haven't had any problems. I've played everybody. I've played as many people as I could do in that not just from the UK. They're all over the place. And again, I haven't come up again. I mean, I used to play you all the time, and obviously you're based in Ireland, and your fucking internet is atrocious. Well, it was before you got fibre. And me and you never had any bad games either. So I honestly, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because people can't use, like, I use Sky, so I don't know if it's conflicting with BT, whether it's conflicting with TalkTalk, whether it's confusing with... I have absolutely no idea. I am not a technician or any part of that, but I just do not get any kind of problems that most people are getting. I just have flawless games.
Yeah, well, since I got my fibre, I have played, I'd say, about 20 games, that's all. And like, I haven't played since I came back, but I'm going to play tonight now for a while and see if it's any different on the DP3. But I'm not going to notice as much of a difference, because I haven't, like, the last time I played PES properly would have been when my old internet, like, which was shit. Whereas now I'm like 150 like download and like 40 up, so it's like night and day compared to what I was on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, some people have said, from reading and a bit of feedback that people have given me, they've said that it's a bit like it's gone back to more like the beta, and obviously that opens up the whole fucking debate of was the beta better and shit like that. But I don't know. I think it's important as well, and it's something that you've said to me a couple of times in the WhatsApp group chat. So I'm going to use it because it's good. But a lot of people that are happy with PES, like, they're not really, like, you know, they're not watching this tonight to see what our thoughts are on PES, or they're not going on Twitter to mouth off to say how good the game is or whatever. They're just literally playing PES. Do you know what I mean? Or they're playing a couple of different games a week, and PES is part of that. And I wrote about that in the article I did last week, where, like, all the feedback that Konami are getting, there is a large majority of people that are happy with the direction that they're going in. And you can't ignore 60% or 70% of people that are happy with the game.
But
and
again,
just
though, every single poll that we put out, and it's not just us that have put it out as PES Universe, or myself, or as yourself, or whoever else, people, I don't know at what point will people realise that this game is still built for offline.
Yeah.
Like, if they was to play online so much and then they play it offline, they'd be like, why doesn't online play like offline? Because offline, but the whole Master League thing and how depth it is and how every team seems to play exactly the same regardless of the tactics, but the actual gameplay is unbelievable. If me and you was to sit next to each other and play 5 or 6 games, the outcome would probably be the same because I'd win. It'll be different every single time. That's because the game plays completely differently. Do you know what I mean? If we was to play online, there might be a 2-second button lag in one game, or there might be a complete lag in another game, or we might have 5 games that are exactly the same.
Yeah, well, that's where the gap is there, you know, where you can always, where somebody, if somebody does lose a game, like, it's extremely easy to fucking have an excuse at the ready, instead of just saying, like, how many messages have you got in, like, the last year just from playing PES, where somebody has messaged you first and been like, do you know what, that was actually a really good game, like, you deserve to win, compared to getting a message, oh, fucking lag, or oh, you were lucky, or like, oh, I had button delay, like, and that's not bitching, but it's just, that is the truth of it. Like, when you do lose a game,
to lose, and I think it was hiatus that said it before. People will always have an excuse. They don't know the difference between losing and being a bad player. Sorry, that's wrong. He said something like, I'll just pull it up. I'll be able to pull it up here. It's like disparating a good player and a bad player, because the bad player will clearly think that they are an amazing player, and that every single time they lose is either down to bullshit or scripting or something like that. Ice Cream Uploads, I'm guessing that's got to be Graham, because he's talking about himself in the third person.
Exactly.
I hope you enjoy your Grand Mac or whatever it is that you're all talking about.
He's going to McDonald's.
Get yourself some Southern Bites instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Balls to them.
Couple of nuggets.
Yeah, mate, that's what it's about.
Wrapping nuggets, man. You can't go wrong.
But yeah, I mean, I know I'm not a good player, so if I lose 9 times out of 10, it's down to my own fault. But again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion as to how good they think they are, and what your record speaks for itself. Mine's not very favourable.
Yeah, I'd say yours is shit at the moment, is it, with all your losses?
Mate, it's just gone right down the shit. When I got to Division 2, it was like, I think there was only once where it didn't go up with the same season that I actually joined it. So I was like, I was well in the pluses. Like, I probably had about 50 games, like a plus 50 or something like that, where I was actually smashing it and I was fucking buzzing my head off. And then came the Division 2 drown, and I'm fairly certain now I'm in a massive negative. So
yeah, but it's hard once you get into a rut. Like, it's very hard. I have one more question for you. Do you want to end it, or are we on too long, or what way do you want to do it?
If you want to carry on, I'll go carry on.
Right, I'll ask you a question. What would you like to see kind of going forward in terms of like PES 19 or whatever? Because I know I wrote an article yesterday, because all I was doing on holiday was literally writing articles because I could do nothing else. But what would you like to see for PES 19? I know it's very early or whatever, but do you think, I suppose, just like as a direction, like not getting too specific about Master League, but just the direction, would you rather them stay kind of going the way they're going, or do you think that they need to overhaul, or like what way do you fall on the fence? Like,
right, I'm just going to park that question for a second, because someone's just put one in the chat from Cryptic. He said, what do you guys think of the GP? I think it needs to change. I feel it's too much of a chore to build up GP with the player contracts costing a bomb. If they were to carry on like this, and at least give us ways to earn more GP, either a bonus for hat-tricks, clean sheets, just feel like they're forcing us to spend money on coins. Now that is kind of like a segue into where I'd like to see the direction of it, in the sense of, I'm going to drop the F-bomb again, but FIFA have got it right in their divisions. I think if you win the division, you get some money to be able to spend on whatever you want, whether or not it be new contracts, new stamina cards, new players, new packs, something like that. Something to keep you wanting to play. Because once I still don't know how people are playing that game when they beat Division 1. Like, there's no trophy cabinet, so you can't put the trophy in your cabinet. So, like you can on FIFA, when you win something, it goes into a trophy cabinet. So it's just there. People can go into your profile and see that you've won this many trophies. Winning a contract card isn't enough to be able to keep me going to play Division 1. Like, considering how much it costs to keep a black ball player playing for another 10 games, after you've spent either stupid amounts of money. I think Nando spent something like 300 quid trying to spin Beckham. And I think it was a very last spin that he ended up getting him.
Yeah.
People farm like 1 million coins, 2 million coins to be able to wait for a legend to come through. There is no way that I would ever spend that much money or that much time sitting there and doing the same thing. Like, there was a point last year, or it might have even been the year before, where I had a Vita. So if I wanted to farm, I ended up only farming once, and that was to be able to get 30 grand to pay my contracts for my players. That's it. I didn't farm for any other reason other than to pay for the players that I already had. But there's no way, and that took me ages. I think it was something like you was getting 15 15k for every hour that you did it for.
Jesus,
so it could have been 3 or 4 hours that I was literally just sitting there like kicking off, playing it on amateur or whatever, scoring a goal, passing it back to my keeper, and then just leaving the controller down there. Do you know what I mean? It's the direction that I think PES needs to go in. Strictly online, it needs to have a more in-depth mode or a more community-led mode where the online team play. Like they did it this year with the clans. However, if me and you, as PES Universe, wanted to play it against the PES Universe pros to try and match up against them, there's no way that you can do it. So you can't play your friends.
I think a lot of the stuff with PES this year, just kind of off the back of what you said and what the lads are saying in the chat there, they're all kind of talking about having, you know, they want more modes, and a lot of people giving out about the GP. It's gone on contracts and doesn't give out enough like payout. I think Konami, when they were designing the game, and it's not a fault of theirs in terms of, I just think that there was no kind of question asked. Okay, what happens when somebody, you know, wins the division? Oh, they go up a division. And I think that was all. I think that was it. Like, I don't think that there was any, you know, tiered rewards thought out of. There was no real gap between people who, like, I'd like very simply for it to be that if you're not in the top, if you're not in the top 3 divisions, if it's a 12 division schedule in my club, right, just very simply have the players tied to each division, so that if you got, say, you're starting off, everyone that you're playing in division 12 to 10 or 12 to 9, like, you can only have players that are in 12 to 9. So say the white balls are 12 to 9, and then as you go up, now I know a way around this, you'd be saying, well, what about somebody that fucking, you know, puts 500 quid or 1,000 quid into my club, like on day 1 or week 1, because there is people that do it just to get the best players. How would you, like, you know, if you're in division 12 and I'm in division 12 and you spend 1,000 quid and you get Ronaldo, Messi and Robin, and you're like, oh, I can't fucking use them because I'm in division 12, like, very simply what they could do there is just have it that, like, you're not in the actual rankings, so that you can play matches away, you can earn money away, but you can't actually use the good players, like in FIFA, I suppose, mentioning that, getting the reward, the packs or the rewards that you can't trade. Like, you still have the players, so you can still use the players, but you can't use them in the actual divisions. So there's, like, I don't know, there's like restrictions on the divisions, but when you actually win division 12 or 11 or 10, like, the rewards you get for playing it right would actually, you know, be fucking unbelievable. And then when you're getting up to division 3, 2 and 1, you're coming up against the super stacked teams, and, like, you're like, well, I'm playing someone who's, you know, a division 2 player here, like, he's after already playing with the shit people and winning, rather than just buying his way to the top, you know, that kind of. Now, I know that would probably go against making money for Konami, which is obviously the goal of every games company, you know what I mean? Like, they don't owe us anything, they want to make money off us, that's just business. But I think that would be some sort of way of going through it.
Well, that's it.
Like with
that's exactly what I keep on saying to people who keep on saying, oh, this game's shit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, Hiatus is just saying it there. People have to vote with the wallets. They're seeing every year, that year on year, more people are playing games. They're playing more My Club matches. They're putting more hours into My Club. They're paying more money into My Club. It's like, well, if people keep on doing that, then what do you expect? Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
but that is a good point there as well, that Ishinobu, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but he's saying to bring out player packs or player balls or agents with guaranteed black balls or legends. So basically you go on and you're spending 10,000 GP, which is like, you know, maybe 2 wins or 3 wins or whatever of your coins, like, to random whoever you're getting. But if you could go on and save up 100,000 GP to get a guaranteed gold ball, who's going to be, you know, a starter in your team that you can build around at the start, you're going to spend 100 GP to get somebody like Rashford, or you're going to get somebody like, you know, Mbappe or Isco, or somebody who's a gold ball that, you know, Varane, whoever, is going to be a beast that's going to be in your pretty much your finalized team for 100 plus matches or 200 plus matches where before you upgrade that position. So that's something that they could do where it wouldn't impact, you know, instead of somebody going off and spending, you know, 100, getting like 100 quid to get coins to open 30 balls, they could go off and spend 100 coins and get Messi. I think that would actually make Konami more money. I actually think if people could, like, if I could guarantee myself that I could go in and buy somebody like fucking Roy Keane, who would be the ultimate legend for me, or somebody even like Maradona, where I don't have to sit there and I don't have to. I would nearly say, look, I'm going to fuck it. I'm going to pay 50 quid if I can guarantee I'm going to get Beckham or guarantee I'm going to get Maradona.
Well, that's what Matthew's saying there. He's saying that DLC should be going to charge people. I think they should be free.
Yeah.
Like, you should be, if you wanted to buy them and put them into your team.
Yeah. But what do you think about that? Or what does the chat think about that? Whereas if you had, say you have, like, ripping up the way that they have the format now and making no other changes to the agents, no transfer market, just basically what I'm asking is, like, have 10,000 GP to open a random like it is now, 50,000 to open a ball, spin a ball that's guaranteed silver or more, and then like 100,000 for like a gold or better, like where you're like really, the more you spend, like the higher your chances are that you're giving yourself to get you know, one good player. I know obviously the 50,000, 100,000 might be too much or whatever, but that's just, I'm just putting a figure on it just to keep it even. Like, would you like to have that option there where, you know, if you could guarantee that you could get Aguero or Silva or De Bruyne without having to spin 20 times or 30 times, would you just rather spend 300,000 GP and get De Bruyne?
I would.
Yeah.
But like people are saying there, so if you split it into 4 parts of 12, 10, 11, and then go on from there, I think that miles fairer.
Yeah. I just think it's like, I just think if you're going to sit there and play enough games, it would give you something to get through, because at the moment you're like, you can sit down for an hour and you're going to have enough to spin a ball. So you can go on, you can spend, you know, 10,000 GP, and if you open it and you get a shit player, like, you're probably just going to turn it off and just say, oh, fuck it, that's grand. But if you have, like, if you have on a Monday, you've got like 60,000 GP, and then, like, you're saying, well, by Friday I'm going to have 150,000 or whatever, and that is going to guarantee me Aguero, or it's going to guarantee me a gold ball, like, where I'm actually, it's going to make a difference in my team. I think people would hold off on spending, you know, 15 spins hoping and wishing that they're going to get somebody, and they just say, fuck it, I'm actually going to put it all, like the scouts, but just have the scouts, take out the scouts and just have, like, the balls, like, have dedicated balls every month, maybe have 10 different ones where you could just go in and buy, you know, players with more GP. The more GP you put in, the easier it is to get the better players. Because I think what would happen then is people would actually deliberately save up to get players that they want, rather than bringing in a transfer market. I think that would be a really easy kind of change to make, where they just bring in, you know, like the promotions that they do Thursdays to Thursdays with the special agents. Just literally have the special agents as, you know, oh, this week spend 50,000 and get any of these 25 players. Do you know what I mean? And let it maybe spin it 5 times, so you'd have 5 really good players. Yeah. I don't know. That's just, obviously I haven't thought too much about it. But
well, like Tiger just said then, what you're saying, it will essentially kill the auction house. However, the auction house is already dead for me. Yeah. Because if people can farm 1 million coins and then buy people like Mbappe and then raise that price from, probably at the start of the game it was probably 15k. And then having to, that's just pulling a figure out of my head, and now it's worth 745,000. It's kind of like, at that point, the auction house for me is dead, because there is no way that the average Joe is going to sit there with it and just farm that amount of money. To me, it's already dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but the lads are saying there that, like, maybe not to have, like, guarantee a specific player. I was just giving examples of, like, you know, I was just giving examples of players. I wasn't saying that you'd have an Aguero agent for 300,000 GP. I was just saying that if you're putting in 300,000 GP or 100,000 GP, you're going to get a gold or a black ball. You're not going to get a silver or white. Like, I'm not saying that you'd get Aguero. I'm just saying that you'd guaranteed to get any of the golds in the game or any of the blacks, basically. Yeah. So that was kind of, I don't know. I think you're right though. I don't know about the scouts. Like, I think that's kind of, I think it's too complicated for somebody that's playing it casually to sit down. And obviously the people that can do it are, like, you know, they're probably a lot smarter than I am, and that's why they've got the players that they want. So maybe it does work for them. But I think that would be an easy kind of go-between between what we want and what Konami are prepared to do, is to just basically bring in special agents where it's 50,000 or 100,000 for a silver or a gold ball, like minimum, and then just go from there.
Well, the way I see it is, like we were saying before, so long as the people who are running the game can go to their bosses and say, look, more and more people are playing it, they're spending more money, that game is going to keep on getting brought out every year for a start, because they're not going to get rid of a game like that if they can't, if it's making more money than any other IP that they actually own. With the likes of Silent Hill, what other games do Konami bring out? Barring that, it's Metal Gear Solid, isn't it? That's the only other mainstream one now. Silent Hill's been put to the side.
Gone, yeah.
There's no other way that they'll be able to bring in out more money now. Obviously, I haven't played Metal Gear Survive, but that seems to be at its knees. Not many people are liking it. The reviews have been horrible, most of them anyway. So I don't know where they go from there. Whether or not it's, for me personally, it has to be offline. But I'm an offline player more than I am online. So for me, it's the market states that it's an offline game as well. There's people who dedicate their whole entire channels to become a legend or Master League. I'd say the balance of YouTube is for offline, Twitch is for online. There's not many Twitch streamers that do offline content.
Yeah, but you see, offline content is more of a personal thing when you're playing at home, and you know, it's not like playing online. Like, you're always going to have, no matter what you're doing, like, fucking hell, I went playing mini golf with fucking the missus on holidays, and like, it was like 21 holes, and for the first 10 holes, like, I was taking the piss and she was taking the piss, and like, she started fucking absolutely spanking me, and I was getting tick. I was like, do you know what, fuck you now, like, that was a lucky shot. Like, I was actually getting, you know, because I hate losing. I just don't like losing anything. Now, I wouldn't be a baby about things, but I was just like, no, I'm not going to let her beat me or whatever. And then, like, we literally played about 10 holes that were so competitive, like, we were barely speaking to each other. And then, I don't know, I just think that, like, if people want to, like, if people want to be competitive with stuff with PES going forward offline, if they want to have that experience offline, I think that if I was to watch somebody playing offline, like, they'd have to have a really, really good, like, unique kind of either concept or personality. Whereas, like, online, the whole, like, aspect of beating somebody else, like, you know, beating an actual physical person, whether it's online or whether it's in mini golf or whether it's like in professional sports or anything, I just think it feels good to watch somebody beating somebody. Do you know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
Like, people like,
you're
confrontation.
investing your time into the streamer or the person who's creating the content, so ultimately you're rooting for that person to beat the person who they're going up against. Exactly.
That's, you see, like, that's why, I think that's why, like, the competitive nature that's in every single person, no matter how uncompetitive you are, it's still there, like, as a human instinct that you want to beat somebody, or you want to see somebody get beat, or, you know, like, you probably hate some of the Manchester United players, like Gary Neville and players like that, like, just being a City fan, you know, for no other reason than just being a City fan. But then when you're watching him do punditry on Sky, and he's having to crack with Carragher or whatever, you can, like, you know, it's a different side.
You just hit the nail on the head. As a person, as a footballer, I absolutely despised him, but as a pundit, is like probably my favourite. Do you know what I mean? Because his loyalties are put to the side, and he's just talking what he needs to say is completely right. But like Beans is saying then that his biggest gripe is about the player slots. Why not make them unlimited? Surely if there was unlimited, for me, more people would probably want to spin more. But I'm not releasing some of the people who, like, the white balls that I've gone to the auction house for. There's no way that I'm releasing them just to potentially get another silver ball or another centre back that I've got about 40 of. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. We could talk about this, like, forever about all the stuff that they need to do. But I think what we need to do is sit down with them, survey results that we've got, and potentially speak to the people who've left their name and release some of their feedback if they wanted to, and get some other people, because people have been asking me if we're releasing results. Now, obviously, for whatever reason, I didn't put down that if they wanted to tick a box or something to say that we can share these results online, because all we've done is stated that we're going to send these to Konami. They knew
that it was going to be going to Konami anyway, so that's kind of something like we basically have. You know, I'm not going to be making that public, I don't think, like the stuff that we're putting in there, but we've got a lot, like I've got a serious amount of feedback from our team, from pro players, from people running community sites, basically in one giant fucking like spreadsheet, like it's done out properly. It's, you know, it's there's a lot of stuff in it, and then this obviously from the survey results are from, you know, it's from people actually in the trenches is what I call it, you know what I mean? Like they're putting the hours in, they're seeing the flaws, they're still playing the game, they're whining about it, they're bitching about it, but they're supporting everything that goes out as well in their own way. So everyone has a voice, you know, just because me and you were involved in a community site doesn't mean my opinion is more important than anyone in this chat or yours is. You know, it's just because like we started writing about Pez and that's it, like, you know, option files and stuff.
People start to follow you because you've got they either share the same opinion or they can find the middle ground that you're talking about. People don't tend to follow you, someone who they actively either despise or completely disagree with, because most of the time I'll either mute them or block them. Not just relating to Pez. If I don't like the person's personality or how they perceive themselves on social media, then chances are I'm going to probably not follow them or block them. But the reason why people give us the platform is because they either agree with us or they like us as people. So if we can use whatever we have to try and influence other people's decisions for the good, then obviously that's what we can do. That's why we've set it up in the first place.
Yeah. But Tiger's just said good work on the survey enabled us to write down thoughts rather than just venting on social media. That's exactly it. Like,
if people have 280 characters nowadays on Twitter to write stuff, and 280 characters is not a lot to get your point across, and often can be taken out of context because there just isn't enough space now. If you used to write a thread, I've seen people write threads that are like 40 tweets long, and after the 20th, I'm bored. But at least with this, we've kind of said, right, okay, you can keep on coming back to the phone, just write it down, keep on coming back and just chip away at it every single time. You can just write everything down that you wanted to get out there, because it's better writing it down than just having 40 tweets, and that's exactly what we've got. Well, it's got people talking, like, that's exactly what I wanted. Not to people think that they've having to sit on their hands or whatever. It's giving people the option to say exactly what they needed to say, and have a face at the end of it, rather than just tweeting out to either people who don't care or don't want to listen. Yeah,
but that's the thing. If you give somebody like every tool and every chance to actually get out their thoughts, and they don't take it, then I wouldn't waste my time talking to somebody. I wouldn't waste. You know, because I wouldn't waste, like, it's like with somebody that has an argument with you that you hit him back with the facts, or you hit him back with something that he doesn't agree with, or she, and then they basically just kind of like ignore what you're after saying and just continue to make up a different point. Whereas like with the survey, I've been really impressed with people that have actually like written down points. And another thing as well onto that is that there's a lot of people out there that don't kind of like when they fill out a survey and they do everything and they're like, oh, I've been filling out this survey for the last 4 years or 3 years where I've been asking for stadium creator or whatever. Like, just because you want something, it doesn't mean that it's going to be in the next game. Like, there's stuff that we're going to probably send to Konami that they mightn't even consider until PES 2020 or 2021, I should say.
Now, I will say that they do not help themselves when they say this game's been 3 years in the making or 4 years in the making, because they're opening themselves up for the channel of shit that they're inevitably going to get. So I would definitely, if I was a developer, I would definitely not be saying this is blah blah blah, this is X, this is how long we've spent on it. But I reckon what we're in now, mid-February, I would probably say the game's 70% done now. 19, at least.
Yeah,
they'll start working on 19 as soon as 18's out the door. So I would
non-stop.
I would honestly say that is probably 70% done now. So the nature of the beast is, are we going to see everything that we want in the next one? No chance.
No, we're not. Like, that's the thing, and that's what people need to understand. And I see a couple of comments there in the chat that we mightn't have got to, where people are talking that, you know, maybe putting all the eggs into my club basket or whatever, where it's like they're really kind of neglecting offline players or whatever. But I still know players, and you know from the survey, where it's like, you know, I've had arguments with people where I've actually shown them proof of people that aren't involved with any site. They're just random people that filled out the survey, and they're really enjoying Master League. Like, they've played 7-8 seasons of it, and they were like really just enjoying the core gameplay. There's no depth there, but they like just, you know, they're basically playing exhibition matches in Master League. That's what it is.
It's just but
because
keeping score of each team.
And there's top scorer and stuff like that. It's just a basic, you know, like experience of playing an online or a single player mode. And people are saying like, oh yeah, but they shouldn't be happy with that and they're settling or whatever. And it's like, no, they're not settling. They're just playing the game that's released.
Yeah.
You know, it's like getting GTA and you know, and wanting it to have a battle royale mode in it. Like, you know, just to have it there because you can play it on different games. It's like, no, accept it for what it is, or else if it's not for you, don't play it. And I think a lot of people force themselves to think a certain way, whether they enjoy something or not. That's just my opinion. Whereas, like PES 19 isn't going to have. It's not going to fix all the issues of PES 18. Like, it's just the nature of sports games. Like, and FIFA's no better. You know, FIFA's probably got panned more this year by...
Oh, mate, there's more professionals that are leaving. There's people who are sponsored to play FIFA full time who have just walked away from it because it's been that bad this year. People who've made a living out of that game and been picked up by football clubs to represent them who've just walked away. So it's not always greener on the other side. You know what I mean? It's not night and day. These two games are just not night and day. There's so much more wrong with. It depends on what side of the fence you're sitting on. It sounds like I've just completely gone against what I've just said, but depending on how much time you put into this game depends on how much time you're either going to love it or hate it, and that's because you're going to see the more flaws the more you play it. If you're, like I said before, if you're sinking 70 hours into it, you're going to know every single blade of grass on that pitch and where you can put the ball, how much power you need to put in it. There might be some bullshit every now and again, but the chances are you've got your money's worth out of the first 30 hours, and then after that is a bonus in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. It's like, I think people mightn't believe this, but I know, you know what I mean? I know certain things going forward for the future. I'm not saying I know stuff.
Don't say that you're in the know, mate.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I know that, like, there is a direction for the first time in a long time. There is a direction, like, with Konami. Like, there's a direction that they're going in where it's like, look, this is where we want to be in 3 years' time. Like, this is where we want to be in 5 years' time. Whereas before, like, ever since they moved off the PS2 days, they've been playing catch up, or they've been trying to actually get the game back to being, you know, number one, enjoyable, and number two, actually being worth talking about.
I think it's more respected, if I'm being honest. I think that's the word we need to try and use, because there's a lot of people. I mean, when I was out with my workmates on Friday, and I was talking about PES and stuff like that, they're like, they hadn't even thought about it in the last 15 years or whatever. They've just not even considered it as a football game. If they was to get people around, they'd play FIFA, because straight out of the box. This is more of a cult following.
Yeah, it is. It is now, but I think that, you know, Konami have a plan that is kind of. They have a plan where they're going, like, they know what they want to do for PES 2019, and they know what they want to do for PES 2020 and PES 2021. But just because, like, for instance, just because they want to have like an overhauled Master League, and they know that they need that. Like, as you said, development has already started on PES 19. They're not, like, if something isn't going to fit in to PES 2019, like, you can't delay it. Like, you can't do a Red Dead Redemption 2 on it. You can't perfect it. Yeah. Like, you have to get it out in that, like,
it's a season game. It has to come out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest hindrance to football games or sports games. It's the same with NBA 2K. As good and all as that is, and Beans is asked there, would we like to see other companies, like, make a sports game? Like, I would love 2K to make it.
I don't think 2K have got a hat in that ring.
No, they don't. I don't think they do. There's probably like a couple of, like, you know, other developers, like indie developers, probably thinking, will they do it, or seeing would they go out on their own to do it and see if they could get back in. But I don't think that the licenses are the biggest thing. But I don't think 2K would do it. But if they did do it, like, it probably would be pretty decent. But I think Konami will get there with PES. I still hold out hope for PES that, like I'm enjoying PES 18. Like when I sit down to play it, whether it's co-op, whether it's against you, whether it's a random match, whether it's offline, like I'm enjoying it enough that, like I'm enjoying it more than enough that it's keeping other games like in their boxes. Do you know, that kind of way? So I think they'll get there. I think that they'll get there. They need to get there sooner than they probably thought that they needed to get there. But I do think that they will have a focus on offline. Yeah. I still think that's
the balance.
I agree with you. I think that that's the balance that they need to get in there. I think they need to really push their offline mode and make it that, you know, you look like games at fucking like Horizon Zero Dawn or like any of those games that are all offline. Like people are still going crazy for offline games. Do you know, like single player games that they can sink time into. So I agree with you there. I think that's the balance that they need. Like my club, I don't think you need as much depth in my club as offline, because my club and online, the whole like, see man, the whole like me versus you or beating people in my club is always going to be addictive. Like you're always going to go on and play people, you know.
Well, I think we've gone over quite a lot there. Nearly. Can you believe it's been 2 hours since we started?
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to see Black Panther at 9 now, so I have to fucking
That's
go
fine,
soon.
mate. I'm going to stop it now anyway. We've gone on 2 hours.
Fucking Lily is in the chat now.
He asked me to give him a wink and a kiss at the camera, so I'm not giving him a wink.
I haven't talked to Lily in a long time.
I've got no wervers. Yeah, I think we've probably said it all that we needed to say for this one. It's been an incredible first episode anyway, considering we've had, I think at one point we had over 30 people in here, which is a hell of a lot more than I actually anticipated would be in the broke my counter, which is why I'm editing single figures. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to obviously you since you've come back, and everybody else. That's why I put the text on the screen so that everybody else could try and get involved. The chat had come through me and we could talk all as one. I didn't want it to just be a conversation about, well, with me and you, whereas everybody else is just there to listen. I want it to flow and be interactive, and that's exactly what we've got. So I do thank you all. Please don't end with that intro music or I'm never coming back. That was the plan, but I think I'll swerve that one. I'll find something else in the meantime. But again, thank you very much for coming on. I was going to call you by your real name then, but I won't do that.
I'm an anonymous man.
Anonymous man. That's why I didn't want to.
I actually was going to come on I was trying to get my camera to work for this show, but because I've got a fucking tan now, I look like fucking. I'm actually so like brown for my holidays.
Yeah.
I've got a new haircut and all, but obviously beside you, I'm going to look shit. But you know,
well,
it's just fucking.
Didn't want to say anything.
The camera won't work.
Right. So Ankle Spawn, thank you very much for the follow there as well. I think we gained quite a few in here as well today. But no, again, it's been an absolute pleasure streaming for you all tonight. Hopefully, I'm going to do this again next week. I don't know who the guest is going to be. It could be you again. You forget.
I'm busy next week.
You're never busy. I know it's a lie. So until then, guys, again, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you all again very soon. If you want to find myself on Twitter, it's bibby_PESUni, and if you want to find the Midnight Kid, I'm fairly certain it's just the Midnight Kid.
Oh, it's DA
because you're gangster, aren't you?
Kid. Yeah, da. I thought that was cool at the time, actually.
Well, I don't know if it's because you're Irish twinge and you can't say the.
I thought that was how you spelled the.
No. Okay. Well, it's been, as I said, I've been trying to do this outro now for quite a while. I definitely need to try and perfect this technique, but it's been an absolute pleasure, guys, and I hope to see you all again in the next one.